Okay, we stopped. Where is the beginning of the quotation? Yes. Okay, we can start. And here's how we using our three doors: body, speech, minds. And one is like with or the present with the teacher, and mentally learn to behave in a controlled manner, treating him with respect and aware, and never kind of brightening into like casualness. It's like kind of the be careless or something like this. All the times attentive or the mindfulness. It is very much necessary. And also it's to when you be in some qualified teachers. And qualified teachers, whatever the movement of the body, speech, mind does, they all the time make meaningful things. Because the teacher's mind is the full of the control mind and realizations. And therefore, for example, Guru Rinpoche give advice. When you be the qualified teachers, even you at tea times, you should to have mindfulness, vigilant. Though something way of the talking is the pit instructions. And it's not really, it's like necessarily to prepare like a kind of the decorate and arrangement in order to receive the pit instructions. And the pit instruction is like any kind of, maybe it's like nothing to prepare, maybe between the conversations. And for example, first Patrul Rinpoche, it is like kind of, he was with, the Nyosho Lonto. Nyosho Lonto is like almost 25 years with the Patrul Rinpoche. How many times he received the teachings, but maybe not kind of introduced. One in the evening, they are sleepy in the empty valley place. And then it's like before their sleep, and the patron says, "Hey, Lonto, can you hear the dog barking?" He said, "Yes." "Do you understand?" And yes, and only like this, that moment, Nyosho Lonto, he said he realized the true nature realities. Maybe it's like something questions, or maybe it's like kind of the talking. We all the times needed kind of the control our mind is very important, and because there is something we can receive some benefit. And like this, maybe it's doing funny things, and also it's like when we are like older to keep this discipline. When he or she sitting, working, and talking, and to be with him all the times, what it describe things to say within. This is also big kind of the practice things. Maybe if we do like this equivalent is like instead like make retreat, 3 years retreat. Maybe it's like when you be the present, your teachers, you do like this. Maybe it's the same. Like kind of, for example, Jetse Malaripa, and also Telo Naros his stories. And Naros all the times, Telo whatever he said to did. And then finally he's all the like kind of the obscurations purified. And therefore it's like maybe we follow this kind of doing things. Probably, absolutely, we are great kind of also purification. We are on the path. Therefore, we need to be mindfulness, recollection or vigilant, very important control to our minds. And then the quotation is, do not remain seated when the teachers stand up. This already we studied. And also when he's seated, solicitously bring him all the needed. And in Tibet, it's like there's right, the moment of the right, you can to offer into something. When his seed times, you need to like well-being. Maybe you can ask to how are you, saying something like this. Solicitously means solicitous is like kind of more worried kind of in the feeling. And your family says, how are you okay, like this sort of. And then it's like working with him, neither in like kind of front, behind, not on the right. That is already we studied. And like keep to this kind of vows and controls, fantastic. And to disrespect his mount or the seat, well, spoil your merit. Spoil your merit is you destroying. For example, you amount the cushion of the teacher, throne of the teacher, or maybe it's like kind of the bed of your teacher. And like it's in Tibet, it's like even someone's never mount your teacher's horse. And therefore it is very important like to respect. We never like kind of doing such this kind of, here's the disrespect, it's a mount. Mount is many different meanings. For example, you stepped on the teacher's cushion, stepped your teacher's clothes and thrones, and also it's like a rider, like mount the teacher's horse, and even the car, sometimes it is seated front, some is like teacher, very difficult to sit there. Of course, if you got the permission, maybe then it's okay, otherwise. And therefore it is very important. Why if it's important? If we do which kind of not good, it said, well, it's like the spoiled your meritorious, and like kind of the exhaustions. It is like kind of if you put butter on the hot stone or hot kind of the irons, then there's naturally kind of the butter's melt disappeared. Like exactly like this. This is like kind of the most important things. For the teacher's perspective, whatever you do, there's no problem. But for our own individual benefit perspective, we need to respect. Do not slap doors. Do not the postures vainly or the scowls. And it is like a kind of vainly is like a nonsense kind of the doing things. It's like scowl is like a more, how do you say, it's like anger showing. You know, your eye, nose is like this sort of, never too sure. And avoid liars, laugh, or it's like ill-considered and irrelevant talk, like gossip things. All the times we need to control our mind, body, verb. Very important. Then is we have that much to have meritorious, and it's a lot of benefit. Serve with the like kind of composers of the body, speech, and mind. Very peacefully, very gentle, very calm. And when you be with your teacher, your body is not necessarily running around, and speech is talking everything, whatever you coming from your mouth. Mind also is like whatever coming in you to your mind. And this sort of we need to taking care. And like this. And should there be people who criticize or hate your teacher, do not treat them as your friends. And like kind of some is like your teachers, maybe someone's broken the samayas, someone's criticized to your own teachers, and like a mockery, insulting, and something say nasty things. Maybe it's like you don't need to make association to them. and it's like the better, because it's like also this very bad negative influence to come into us in the student. Therefore, is treat them as your friend, never say, not treat. And if you are capable of like changing the attitude of the anyone who has no faith in him or her, who disparage like and him, then you should do so. And also it's like kind of the disparage means it's like a criticize, and also it's like this guy, this lady, you know, it is like someone is like really hated your own root teacher. But maybe it's like, of course, you don't need to become angry. It's like even look in the Buddha, how many sentient beings criticize, even the Buddha, difficult to make happy. There are a lot of like disparaged to Buddha. And any kind of masters is absolute, there's no need to mention. But your perspective, and you are your own like a spiritual teacher, someone's disparage, criticize, insult things, and you never make association, not necessary to be together. And if you have kind of the possible to changing this attitude or the faith, it's good. If not, it's better to kind of avoid it. But if that is the impossible, avoid being too open of the having familiar conversation with such people. Familiar conversation, very gently, very kind of the peacefully, better to separate, better to go away, never ever make the associations. For example, like sometimes sayings like some student broke samayas. If you drink tea together, if you chat together, this negative influence you received. And that is like very much this. Of course, this is like kind of the qualified teacher. It is not any kind of lama or any kind of teacher. It doesn't matter. Maybe there's nothing kind of samaya broken. It doesn't matter that like this. And then it's like conversations with such people is not very good. Therefore, and then is next one is also the quotations. And here is said that the treasure of the precious qualities. And do not trade as the friend those who criticize or the hated your own teachers. That's we already studied. And negative influence can curse. And change their mind if you can. That's wonderful. If you cannot, better to avoid. If you speak freely with them, the powerful influence of their wrong actions. And it's like kind of, if you are like kind of the very strongly, you say it's like to blame. You cannot to do like this. Maybe it's like negative something actions can occur. Very familiarity, like kind of the nicely to talk, make the distance. This is very important. While honor, the harm your own samayas, because it's like you talk very strong, powerful way to this negative, powerful influence. Even the yourself, you are kind of samaya broken. Therefore, it is like taking care. However, much time you have to spend with your teachers, entourage, or with your Vajja brother and sisters. And likewise, you know, it's like same way. However, even the like kind of your Vajja masters, entourage means students, attendants, or maybe consort, son and daughter, and any kind of these Vajja masters connected. Also, we need to take care. And also it's like when we be there, never feel worry or like kind of the weary or the like kind of the irritated with them. To be easy to be with them. No, it's like a comfortable belt, and to them, for example, otherwise, if you are like making uncomfortable, one may be entourage, maybe like consort, son or children or relatives, then maybe it's like your masters not really like kind of the happy. Some good students consider it as all the surrounded masters like kind of the whoever living there is, they like kind of the respect. They think it's like surround these teachers, and maybe it's like a practice pure perception. They are conducting it. And if like this, then it's each one is very important to taking care. Any kind of we need to go to under the hardships, regardless of our own hardships. Better and to not harming to the as much as we need to make pleasant to our teachers. We don't need to make any displeasant. And slower your the self important and joy in the with whatever there is to be done. Mix easily like salt in the food. And it's like kind of there's something is kind of activities maybe you are doing within the entourage of the like your masters, some families, a student, and like kind of whoever living there is. And then it's that moment you should to abandon your like kind of self-important, and you immediately to enjoy with like them. And then it's like a kind of the whatever they doing, and you should to do and mix easily like kind of the salt, like you put in the food or water, immediately dissolved. Like this kind of the very, very important. And also it's like when people speak harshly to you, or pick and quarrel, or when the responsibility you have to assume are too great, be ready to bear anything like pillars. Like kind of pillars, how much is heavy things put? Maybe it's like pillars carrying 2, 3, maybe 100 floors is carrying, carryings. Like this, maybe it's like when you be in the middle of your own teacher's entourage. Maybe it is like a kind of they're doing such a kind of the tasks. During doing the tasks, maybe they a little bit kind of the criticism to you, mockery to you, insult to you, maybe quarrel you. And in this kind of big give you like a big kind of responsibilities, very difficult task or something. And this sort of like when you received, maybe it's like to practice the patience. It's like swimming to great, ready to be the anything like a pillar, like kind of the can to be to to bear of that, and to practice patience like a kind of the pillar. And this sort of we needed. That is also the quotations is the precious qualities. Chapter 5 it says, like a belt, and be a comfortable companions. When you be the root your teachers, or the like kind of the entourage of the teachers, it's like very easily to be together, like a belt. Belt is like how you used your belt, comfortable, and never belt like kind of the dispute or argue, and like kind of the showing disrespect. This sort of like to be like kind of the belt. And also like a salt, be easily mixed in this like an entourage of your own teachers, whatever they do. You kind of the taking your very self-important and not mix it to sitting like this, not very good. Like a pillars, unerring bear anything's load means any kind of task, any kind of need to under the injured. And like what kind of, when you be in the like entourage, maybe not easy. Some in the entourage, very critical persons, they criticize to you, they argue with you, but that times we need to unwearingly bear it. And then it's like the service, thus your Vajra brother and the teachers is attendance. And then it's like rely on very well to be great to service to your like Vajra brother and Vajra master and Vajra teachers, or it's like entourage. And that is the like also not kind of the like normal way. If you some sadistic way, normally you become slave, or you are like kind of doing things. I don't know how much. Of course, maybe if you are practice your family friends like to be like this, maybe there is like kind of some surely meritorious. But this is like specific way. If you practice like this, there is such same as you are in the retreat place, same as you are purification on your middle way, and therefore this is very important. Okay, like this, maybe we can to stop there. It's like you can to have some questions, and then a little bit good question, and yeah, question.
Thank you, Rinpoche. We have some questions from yesterday. Rita Wolf asking how to reduce the negative impact of the teacher. The teacher's negative influence has lasted for several years, even though there is no longer any contact, but there is a certain amount of damage to the psyche, to the mind.
Psyche means
psychology.
And what you say is like you like kind of the broken link to the teacher. Yes, that means
she or he says there is no more longer any contact with teacher, but there is the negative impact of the teacher.
Negative impact. Which kind of negative impact? This is we need. Is which negative impact you yourself to like something negative impact means it's not clearly. For example, okay, not there's connected to your teacher, but maybe I have this sort of negative impact. Can you put more next questions? Put next question, okay?
Thank you. Tsering Latvia asks, what is the meaning of negative connection with Guru?
Criticize, mockery, and using kind of your benefit, and it's like kind of it's like a disrespect, this sort of.
Thank you. Dasha is asking, when a person meets teacher and understands that he really wants to follow him, how should person behave? Meaning that should person tell to the teacher, I offer to you body, speech and mind, could you accept me, or not necessarily to say this and just start to follow? How to understand that teacher accepted student? Maybe student follows the teacher, but teacher even doesn't know about it.
I mean, it's you direct, you be the front of the teacher, and you be honest. It's really honest. And when you offer your body, speech, mind, before, surely you need to examine your own teacher. And then finally you have the determinedly, oh, now I want to follow this kind of teacher, any kind of the situations. You decide your decisions like this. Then maybe it's like, doesn't matter a little further or near. Of course, if you have opportunity to be the front, you offered. It's wonderful. And maybe it's teachers to check really is like this sincerious or not sincerious. You know, it's like we need to use this word, and vivid your faith or eager faith or irreversible faith. If irreversible faith honors it, and then it's good, very good. And also maybe teachers to say it's like maybe says teachers say, okay, I accept immediately, and like kind of eat your body, verb, mind. Is never doing like this. Also maybe some teachers is like they analyze, maybe slowly in bulk, you know, and then it's like this. If you are not very close at, maybe a little bit, for example, I would to say some holiness or some is like very deep. But when you listen teaching alive, when you are receiving empowerment alive, not through the like maybe the WeChat or through the like kind of Mr. Google, maybe now it's like we are, if even that we are like alive through this internet teachings, also a little bit kind of concerned. But when we are listened through the internet alive, you know, it's direct, that is a little bit teachers putting effort, really like the thinking, okay, this kind of student is really put effort to listen from the computer, maybe there is a connection, and that this kind of or direct, and then you can like to be honest to really follow the, then it's the blessing of the teachers, maybe near or far, it doesn't matter, there's no different. And like this, okay. And also quoting your Dasha, the one question you said, the aspiration of the Samantha Bhattas, non sen ins mepala, this one sentence is, it is some in the books there's missing, okay. Sometimes they have, I don't know this is really correct or not, if need or not need, because there's two type of the versions. One is yes, one's not. Okay, Dasha. And?
Thank you. Paul McLean says, Dear Rinpoche, my friend goes to a fake guru for more than 20 years. That teacher is pretending as Zen guru, who is also giving Indian Tantra. He never tells about his lineage or teachers. How to help?
But you know cannot to help if you connections like worldly, and then why not? It's just if you is like spiritual way is something you are problem, this kind of then you very gently to you can to search another like kind of the teacher. Why not? And often I mean like kind of the giving the suggestions. For example, like I says, I think most teachers, good teachers like this. For example, you follow some teachers and you study. After the teacher say, go to searching another teacher. For example, one of my teacher, he give like education student. When it's finished, then he said, now you understand. Now you go to like different circle, Geluk circle, Kajya circle, Nima circle, all the circles. You share your kind of the knowledge. It's correct. I told you, I give education. These things correct. Like this, maybe it's your teacher's correct. You can to searching another teacher is 100% no problem. And if you really like, you choose one your teacher, that is like forever you can to follow it. But you also listen to the other teachers. When you say the root teachers, root teacher is maybe there's maybe one, but other teachers you can. For example, first Patrul Rinpoche and some many lamas, they have 20, 30 their teachers. Why not? I think it's your teachers, maybe no need to be angry. You can do also search. You don't need to say this sort of criticize. Maybe he's not hasn't that. We already followed 20 years, a long time. And maybe it's like worldly good connection. And then it's spiritually, it's better to searching some qualified teacher.
Thank you. We don't have any more questions.
You haven't got any more questions? Okay, then we are continue or we can to stop there. And today how much we done? Okay, now so I think it's I was a little bit fast. Also, I need to a little bit kind of to read concerning, and also there's many like vocabulary, verb, meaning. You also need to read again and to check, and also those lots of pentitas also need to check. But of course, we have all in the evening like this. And maybe we can to stop. It's just 12. A little bit we are early. It doesn't matter. We are freedom. And like this, thank you very much. Your attention. Sunam daya tamche zibanya toni ni padana pamye de higa nanji wala trupa ya sapan sol. Drukan druva sho semen choy rambo che ma ye pa nama ye Shiba Nyamambai Meba Ton Kone Konde Benzo sato sa maya mani balaya benzo sato te Titandu me bava sutuyo me bava supuyo me bava anarato me bava sarvasada me Sarva karma saja me tada hirayam karahu ha 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 ho banga Sarva tatan kartam benzer mame maza benza ba ma samaya sato oh yeah bye bye